everybody. Welcome to the AJ Awesome Show. My name is AJ, and my special guest for this episode will be Ben Simon. I hope you like it. Hello, everybody. I am here with Ben Simon. He is a ring announcer, a podcaster, an interviewer, and probably much more.
Yes, I am, and you've done your research, AJ. Thank you very much for having me here. I've been waiting to be on your show for like 5 years now.
That is really cool.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Maybe I can be on your show.
One of these days, actually, I don't produce my show. The guy, I want to have some guests on there, and he's like, oh, we got to have this guy, we got to have that guy. And I'm like, Joey, come on, we got to have this guy. So I will definitely vouch for you, AJ, and try to get you on my show.
How did you become involved with wrestling?
So it's actually a really interesting story. I graduated college 11 years ago, and I wasn't doing anything. Like, I was unemployed, I was just at home, and I was bored. And I knew I wanted to get into wrestling because I'd always been a fan. But I didn't want to be a wrestler because I didn't like to fall down a million times and hurt myself. So I said, well, I went to school for broadcast journalism, and I know my way around a microphone. So I heard that East Carondelet Community Center and SICW, Herb Simmons' company, was having an open door tryout for wrestlers. And they didn't really say they needed announcers too much, but I said, oh, what can it hurt? So I put on a suit, and I went to East Carondelet, Illinois, and Keith Smith was there, who's the commissioner, and he says, what are you doing here? And no one knew who I was, and I was like, well, I want to see if I can be the ring announcer. And long story short, I was. 2 days later, they put me in the ring for my very first show, and right after that, I started networking with different promoters, and just like anything in life, you go from there and get more gigs. That was a long story.
Do you have any advice for people wanting to get into wrestling?
Yes. So I do. On the independent level, if you want to get involved in wrestling, well, it depends on what you want to do. So are you talking about being a wrestler or being like an announcer or?
You're an announcer, so announcer.
Good logic. Well, I would suggest that they contact their local indie company and just start harassing them on Facebook, harass them on Twitter. Most importantly, though, go to the shows. You got to go to the shows. You got to actually meet people. And when you're at the shows, just as long as you're introducing yourself, shake your hand. Hey, how you doing? My name's so-and-so. I have a background in broadcasting, or I think I'd make a pretty decent announcer. I know you already have somebody. This is what I do. Because everyone has an announcer, right? Everyone has a commentator if they want. But if they can't ever make it, yeah, give me a call. Here's my phone number and all that. Business cards, AJ, are so important, okay? You got to get business cards made so you have something to give them, That's what I would say.
What do you do for a job outside of wrestling?
My life is really weird, AJ. It's really weird. I work for a chess club, okay? So I work for the St. Louis Chess Club, and I play chess, but I also, for my job, I do video production and live broadcasting. So it's not like this, though. It's people sitting down at a board and playing chess. And so it's riveting action. But we have the best players in the world coming to St. Louis, and I help put those on, and it's a lot of fun.
I bet, because watching those chess players who are the best in the world must be really... It must be fun, but also you must be kind of jealous.
No, I'm not jealous because I know my place in the chess world at this point. It's like if you're a tennis player or golf, let's say a golf player, and you're watching Tiger Woods, like you wouldn't get jealous. It's like really cool to see the best in your field in person, and you get to help send that out to the masses.
What type of TV shows do you binge?
Not that many actually. Because I'm only watching wrestling in the news. There's so much wrestling on TV that I guess you could say I watch Raw, SmackDown, Dynamite, now Rampage, NXT, basically all of them, and then some of the internet shows too. I have been watching Stranger Things though. I just caught up on that, the three seasons that are out, and I can't wait until the fourth season.
My sister watched all 3 seasons like in 2 days because she was off work.
Yeah, it just makes me thankful that I'm here and not in the Upside Down.
What if you were a Pokemon, what type would you be?
I'd have to go with Jigglypuff.
So you would be, I do not know what type Jigglypuff is. You would be like a normal fairy, I think.
Well, so I don't know what Jigglypuff is classified as, but I just always liked how Jigglypuff would get the microphone, which was actually just a marker with a cap on it, and would sing people to sleep, and then Jigglypuff would get very angry whenever everybody went to sleep. So there were 2 sides to Jigglypuff. Actually, I don't get that angry whenever people fall asleep when I'm announcing, though.
Because I'm sure it's never happened.
It's hard to. I'm too loud.
I know you've already talked about your first gig in wrestling, where it was.
Yeah.
But can you tell me some details about it?
Yes, I was scared to death. So here I am in the ring at the East Carondelet Community Center, and I'm introducing people like Chaz Wesson and Gary Jackson, who I'm really good friends with nowadays. And when Gary Jackson came out to the ring, he berated me for not doing his introduction correctly. Now, I did do his introduction correctly, but it just wasn't how he wanted. And I was terrified because here's the heavyweight champion coming to the ring. It's my first night, and he's saying, now I know you're new, but you didn't do it right. So thankfully, Gary gets along with me nowadays. I'm very happy with how it went.
What is your dream interview for your podcast?
That's a really tough question, and it's because on my podcast, whenever you start a show, as you know, you start small, and then you make your way into the industry, and you're able to interview larger personalities. Like I remember when you interviewed Cody, and that was like so cool. And I don't know what the limit for my show is yet, right? So when we get more listeners, could we be interviewing the heavyweight champions of major companies? Probably. With the upcoming Wrestling at the Chase events, NWA 73, we're really trying to get some folks on for that event. So we don't know what the limitations are. I want the very best there is in the world. It doesn't have to be CM Punk, but it could be. But we'll just have to wait and see.
I'll vouch for you with Nick Aldis.
Yes.
What would you say is the best undiscovered talent in wrestling right now?
Well, Leland Race comes to mind as a voice from the ether speaks. There's a lot of cool talents, and I'm thinking specifically in St. Louis. I'm thinking of guys like Camaro Jackson, but a guy who's not here actually right now. And just everybody who's behind the camera. How about Jaden Dominic Rose? One of the guys that I think that we're really fans of in the area, the WrestleMax STL champion, Mike Outlaw, a good friend of mine and a great trainer. He's bringing up a lot of young stars. So Mike Outlaw, and basically anything he touches, I think, is going to the top.
Yeah, he is a really good wrestler. I've been watching him for about 6 years now. Every single time he has done a good match.
Yeah, he really has. 6 years. How old are you, AJ?
11.
Okay, what is your earliest wrestling memory, if I can turn the tables here?
I think my earliest wrestling memory, I was 3 years old, and I was watching my first show, and someone power slammed someone, and it scared me so much.
It scared you so much you loved it.
Yeah. No, I started loving it after the second show, but the first show I was scared to death.
It was here in World League Wrestling? Oh,
Yep.
Very cool. All right.
If you could choose a superpower, what would you choose?
Oh, wow, a superpower. Probably the ability to fly, because I could travel a lot more and less hassle with airplanes.
Or you could choose teleportation and just get there immediately.
Man, you got me beat on that one. Yeah, I'll go with teleportation.
Because teleportation could have a lot more highs than flying, because you could just teleport anywhere in the world, even if you can't get there by airplane.
No wind burn, no hitting birds in the sky. I like how you think. You're very efficient.
You have so many different roles in wrestling. What is your favorite?
My favorite is my first role, ring announcing. I like to work for a bunch of different companies. I like to work for professional companies. If a company has good ring lighting, a good microphone sound system, and good cameras, that's a place you want to work.
If you could choose one actor to play you in a movie other than yourself, who would you choose?
I have no idea. I've never thought of this. Yeah, I don't think I deserve a movie, at least yet. Hopefully, I do something special enough in my life to make a movie. I don't know. I have no idea.
Maybe you could be played by the person who was Harry Potter, because now he's all grown up.
Daniel Radcliffe? Okay, let's go with Daniel Radcliffe.
What is the proudest moment of your career?
The proudest moment of my career, being an announcer, I would say working for the NWL, the National Wrestling League. And I know that a lot of people don't have fond things to say about that, but it was a company that was signing people to contracts locally to wrestle and for me to ring announce. And even though it only lasted a year, 2017 to 2018, I convinced a billionaire to let me ring announce his wrestling show, and I think that's pretty cool.
Is there anything else you would like us to know about you?
I am fine being local, but I do always aim higher. And I'm always constantly networking and trying to improve my worth and improve my style. No one's ever done learning. No one's ever done improving. And that goes for me too. It's very rare you have a perfect night, but you just want to be as perfect as you can be and advance as far as you can. And that's what I want to do.
That's the end. Thanks for the interview.
Thank you very much, AJ.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of the AJ Awesome Show. I'd like to thank Ben Simon for being my special guest. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you next time!